Vladimir Solovyov, a Russian state TV host and key ally to Russian President Vladimir Putin, said Moscow could erase Germany off the face of the earth during a recent broadcast, according to Newsweek. During Solovyov's recent broadcast, he and his guests discussed the shift in U.S. foreign policy under Trump, as well as the recent German elections. Andrey Sidorov, Dean of the Faculty of World Politics at Moscow State University, noted that Friedrich Merz, who is expected to be Germany's next Chancellor, plans to continue the European nation's support for Ukraine. He said that Merz has been more open to providing medium-range Taurus missiles to Ukraine than acting current Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Solovyov said Russia may act if Germany provides the missiles to Ukraine. So now we can strike them, he said. We will erase Germany off the face of the earth. His comment sparked pushback from Sidorov, who noted that Russia is yet to erase anything. If Merz makes this decision, despite the fact that America said it's against this and wants peace, if Merz chooses an escalation, Trump will say, "I'm washing my hands of this." He will say, "I warned you," Solovyov predicted. Throughout the conflict, Solovyov has frequently made inflammatory remarks about member states of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Just last month, he said Russia would put London underwater. His comments often go further than those of Putin and other Kremlin officials. Earlier, Merz reiterated his support for Ukraine on the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion. Europe remains firmly on Ukraine's side, he posted on X. Now, more than ever, we need to put Ukraine in a position of strength. Ukrainian leaders must be included in any negotiations to end the war, Merz added. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius, one of the SPD's strongest advocates for Ukraine, is also expected to have a seat at the table. The centrist cabinet member has emerged as one of Germany's most popular politicians over the last few years and is already shaping up as a potentially ideal coalition partner for Merz. Pistorius said that he expects to play a role in any potential coalition negotiations with Merz's Conservatives. "I see my role quite simply as someone who is in the leadership ranks of the party," Pistorius told German public broadcaster ARD.
Chinese President Xi Jinping met with Russian top security official Sergei Shoigu in Beijing on Friday, state media reported. According to Associated Press, Xi said in the meeting that China and Russia should continue to deepen strategic coordination and cooperation, and strengthen coordination in international and regional affairs, according to state broadcaster CCTV. Shoigu said China-Russia relations were at an unprecedentedly high level, and that the two sides had always had mutual trust and equal dialogue, CCTV reported. He said Russia appreciated China's efforts in promoting a peace solution to the Ukraine crisis, and Russia would unwaveringly strengthen cooperation with China. The visit of Shoigu, Secretary of the Russian Federation Security Council, in the Chinese capital of Beijing came days after Xi told Russia's President Vladimir Putin that he was pleased with Moscow's efforts to hold a summit with the US toward ending the war in Ukraine in a phone call. Ukraine on Monday marked the third anniversary of the war, with more than a dozen Western leaders visiting Ukraine's capital to show support for Kyiv. The country's forces were under severe pressure on the battlefield, and US President Donald Trump's administration apparently embracing the Kremlin in a reversal of American policy. The Western leaders warned of the war's wider implications for global security and vowed to keep providing billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine as uncertainty deepens over the US commitment to help. Washington did not send any senior official to the occasion. Xi and Putin have had a close relationship, which is also reflected in the country's ties. China has become a major customer for Russian oil and gas and a source of key technologies following sweeping Western sanctions on Moscow.
号下午，国家主席习近平在北京人民大会堂会见俄罗斯联邦安全会议秘书绍伊古。习近平指出，中俄是山水相连的友好邻邦，更是百炼成钢的真心朋友。今年我同普京总统已2次交流， 对中俄关系发展普京总统达成的共识，弘扬永久睦邻友好、全面战略协作、互利合作共赢的新时代中俄关系共同发展振兴。双方要继续加强在国际和地区事务中的协调，充分发挥金砖国家和上海合作组织作用，巩固全球南方团结合作大方向。绍伊古转达普京总统对习近平主席的亲切问候，表示普京总统高度珍视同习近平主席的真挚友谊和密切联系，俄中关系处于前所未有的高水平，不针对任何第三方。俄中组合在世界上发挥了重要，中俄关系将迎来一系列重要议程，双方各层级深入沟通。今年是中国人民抗日战争、苏联伟大卫国战争暨世界反法西斯战争胜利80周年，也是联合国成立。
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday hailed the start of a renewed dialogue with the U.S., saying that the administration of President Donald Trump showed a pragmatism, a realistic view, and noting that it had abandoned the stereotypes and messianic ideological cliches of its predecessors. The first contacts with the new U.S. administration encouraged certain hopes, Putin said at a meeting with top officials of the Federal Security Service, Russia's top domestic security agency. There is a mutual readiness to work to restore relations and gradually solve a colossal amount of systemic strategic problems in the global architecture, he said. According to Associated Press, he hailed the Russian troops fighting in Ukraine, saying that their courage and resilience had created the conditions for the beginning of talks on a peaceful settlement. He added that the resumption of U.S.-Russian contacts vexed many in Europe and emphasized that Russian diplomats and security agencies should focus their efforts on resisting attempts to derail U.S.-Russian talks.
Первые контакты с новой американской администрацией вселяют определенные надежды. Есть встречный настрой работать на восстановление межгосударственных отношений. Но постепенное решение колоссального объема накопившихся системных стратегических проблем в мировой архитектуре. А именно эти проблемы в свое время спровоцировали и украинские, и другие региональные кризисы. Важно, что наши сегодняшние партнеры демонстрируют прагматизм, реальный взгляд на вещи. Отказываются от многих стереотипов, так называемых правил и мессианских идеологических клише своих предшественников, которые, собственно, и привели к кризису всей системы международных отношений. Сегодняшние динамичные изменения в международном ландшафте – это в огромной степени результат мужества и стойкости наших вооруженных сил, наших героев. Именно они своей доблестью, своими ежедневными победами создали условия для начала серьезного диалога. Понимаем, что не всех устраивает возобновление российско-американских контактов. Часть западных элит по-прежнему настроена на сохранение нестабильности в мире. И эти силы будут пытаться сорвать или скомпрометировать начавшийся диалог. Мы это с вами видим. Нам нужно это учитывать и использовать все возможности дипломатии и специальных служб для срыва подобных попыток.